Hello, I'm Chef Johnny and this is Texas Style Cuisine. Today I'm going to show you how to make a pan-fried chicken tender. Before we get started on these chicken breasts, I just wanted to remind you to hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell. You get to see a lot of different things here on Texas Style Cuisine. It's the food that we cook up down home here, and I tell you what, it's really good. We do barbecue, we do grilling, we do some intricate chef work sometimes also. We make sausage, we cook in Dutch ovens. So if you like that kind of stuff, remember to subscribe to my channel. I always do appreciate that. So let's get started on these chicken breasts. First thing I'm going to do is just sprinkle a little salt, pepper, and garlic on my chicken breast. We are going to layer flavor all over these chicken breasts because a breast isn't real flavorful. So once I have this one seasoned well, I'm going to take it and I'm just going to lightly dredge it in my flour. And remember, you always keep a dry hand and a wet hand. So there's my wet hand. I'm going to use my dry hand now just to coat this with flour. And I'm going to drop it into my egg wash, and that is just egg with salt and pepper in it. Again, I have my wet hand taken out, and now I have my dry hand to cover with my breadcrumbs. And what this is this is a mixture, half Italian breadcrumbs and half Panko breadcrumbs. So we're going to take it, kind of mash it down on it well. There we go. And that chicken breast is ready to go. Shake off the extra and we'll get another one. Season it with salt, pepper, garlic into the flour. There we go. Drop it into my egg wash. And then into my breadcrumbs. So let me get all these breaded up and I'll get right back with you. Our chicken breasts are breaded, so we're going to start getting them in our oil. And anytime you're dealing with hot oil in any kind of protein or whatever you're going to cook, put it near you and lay it away. That way if it splashes, it goes away from you. One of the big things we watch out for here is do not have your oil too hot. This oil was about 345. You want it at 325 to 350, somewhere in that range. And we want to maintain that so that we can cook these and they'll cook all the way through. Otherwise, we're going to get them burned on the outside and raw on the inside. Don't want that to happen. So we're going to cook these up, take them to 165 degrees, and we'll get back with you as soon as we're ready to turn these. If we look, we can see the browns coming up the side of these chicken tenders real well. And what we try to do is whenever we do a pan fry, you want your oil half to 2/3 the way up your protein. So I'm going to pick it up, turn it over. Oh yeah, see we have a nice golden brown on those. That's what we're looking for. This next one turned. There we go. Oh yeah. Beautiful, beautiful color on these chicken breasts. Let's let them cook on this side now. We're going to check this chicken, see what the temperature is on it. See if it's getting close to coming off. Let's see here. Oh yeah. It's ready to go. Check the temperature on here. We're going to go to the thick part of the chicken breast, right in the center. And look, 161 degrees, so it's not quite ready to come off. Let it go just a little bit longer. Let's check this smaller one. It's probably ready. 166. 170 on that end. So this one's ready to come off. And we're just going to put them on a pan with some paper and let them drain. There we go. And we're just going to let them drain there. Sit there, oil drain off. For our mushroom and wine sauce, I have some beautiful cremini mushrooms. Already have part of them sliced up, but we want to slice these just really thin. So you take a good sharp knife, and we're going to just, remember that bear claw on your hand. Keep those fingers curled up like a bear claw. And the last one we're going to take right there. Slice those up, one more. Pretty little mushroom. And again, just a nice thin slice of these beautiful cremini mushrooms that we have tonight. And one more time, right there. So there's our mushrooms that we have ready for our mushroom and wine sauce. To get started on this mushroom and wine sauce, first thing I'm going to do is just melt. I got about 3 tablespoons of butter here. We're going to melt that in this pan. Now that our butter's melted, we're going to drop in about a 1/3 cup of onion. We're going to drop in. Start cooking that. Stir it in well. Just getting it sauteed in all that butter. So once we get these onions soft, we'll put in our mushrooms. We don't put in our mushrooms first because they start yielding water, and you'd have to dry that up before you could actually saute onions. So what we're going to do is get our onions cooked, then put our mushrooms on top and soften them up. Now that they're soft, I'm going to put in my mushrooms. Got about 1.5 cups, maybe, of mushroom sliced real thin, and these are a beautiful cremini mushroom. And we're just going to cook these down. Get them nice and tender. Now I'm going to add my wine to my mushrooms and onions. You could get a flambe here if you're not careful, so just be careful. It could flambe up on you because we have a live fire underneath it. And we're just going to cook off the alcohol out of this wine, but it's going to give us a wonderful flavor in with our mushroom sauce. So let's cook this down just for a minute, then we'll go to the next step of making this sauce. Now I'm going to set this to the side. Just let those mushrooms soak in that wine. Bring my other skillet back. I have about 2 tablespoons of butter I'm going to drop in there. We got our butter, we're going to get it melting, and then we're going to add our flour, and we're going to make a roux. Now a roux we know is equal parts of fat and flour by weight. So 2 tablespoons is going to be almost 4 tablespoons of flour. Drop our flour right up on top. And I'm not going to darken this roux. I'm going to leave it kind of blonde. I just want to cook the raw taste out of it. Here we go. So that's looking good. I don't think we need to go anymore. I'm going to put in our chicken broth. Pour about half of it in. Got 3 cups, so I'm going to go with about 1.5 cups. And I'm going to stir this in until it's smooth. Now remember, your sauce will not start thickening until this almost comes to a boil. That flour just will not soak in that water until it's right at a boil. So bring it back to a boil and you'll see this thicken up real nice. Now this is starting to thicken real well and boil, so I'm going to add some more of my chicken broth. Get it mixed good, have it start thickening. And then I'm going to add my mushrooms and onions and wine. We're back to a boil again, so I'm going to add my wine and my mushrooms and my onions into this sauce. I'm just going to stir that in with my Cutco whisk. This is a great, great whisk. My wife swears it's the best whisk ever made. Now I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and pepper. And you have to be careful because you can get in too much salt if you're not careful, because that chicken stock has salt in it. And remember, you don't want it real thick at this temperature. When it cools, it's going to be thicker. So you want it a little thin so that when it cools off to your serving temperature, then it's nice at the nice thick consistency you want. I'm gonna add about another quarter teaspoon of pepper. Salt is fine. I'm gonna turn the fire off under this sauce. It is nice and thick. Give y'all a look at this, but if we put it up, that's what we call nappe. So right there, nice thick, coats the back of the spoon. That sauce is gonna be just right. Once it cools, it's gonna go on the plate very good. Let's see if we can get this plated up. We'll take our confetti rice, set it on one side of our plate, right there, and that's looking very, very pretty. And then I'm gonna take this mushroom and wine sauce, come in with it. We're going to kind of take it just around the bottom of the plate. Just like that. Alright. Set one of our chicken tenders right there. So we can get it to stay up. Chicken tender and a few green beans. These are cooked to a nice crisp tender. Now this chicken and mushroom came out great. I tell you what, this plate is lovely. The sauce was fantastic. The confetti rice just really sets it off. And we laid our chicken breast up on top of our sauce so that it didn't get mushy, that nice crisp breading we have. If you put your sauce over the top or your gravy, which a lot of y'all would call that, what's going to happen is you're going to get your breading all mushy. And you don't want it mushy, you want it nice and crisp still. So it came out good. So let's get this a sample and see how it turned out. That chicken turned out great. It's very moist. That breading is very, very crunchy. Came out just like it's supposed to. The wine and the mushrooms and the onions set off that sauce tremendously to complement that crunch that's in there, to complement those flavors. Came out good. Sitting with our confetti rice, it looks beautiful. And of course our green beans. Made a wonderful plate. It's a beautiful plate. It's a tasty plate. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Texas Style Cuisine. If you did, go down there and give me a thumbs up. Always do appreciate that. Remember to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you know every time I put up a new video. Share us with your friends and your family. Share us on your social media. And we'll see you down the road on Texas Style Cuisine.
Sitting by the wagon when the sun come up this morning, bacon, eggs, and coffee, biscuits, and beans. Cookie strikes the bell and he rings the world a warning. How them boys put food away beats all I've ever seen.